Are we chilling? What's up? Oh, fuck. Okay. We're live. What is this? Engage with your audience members only stream. Oh, okay. I'm good. We don't need to be doing all that. Well, yo, what's up, Sin? We got a big old live stream tonight for all of the fans ready for some Pokemon Draft League. Khaz versus an Nintagofoxo. We're going to start with ADV and then see where the night takes us. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays are currently losing tonight as this goes on. So that's a little bit not pog. That's a little bit sad, but I hope we get some good Draft League games and that'd be fire. And let me know, by the way, chat, if the my audio is good in terms of like my mic versus the music, because I haven't streamed in a while, so I can't confirm. I don't know if the settings are great right now. Maybe mic a little louder. Okay. That might just be me not talking loud enough into the mic, to be honest, and looking away at my other monitor. I'll speak up a little bit. I don't want to be. I can't be. We don't want a low energy night. It's on the right mic, right? It should be. I was recording. It is. Okay. I was gonna say I was recording literally yesterday, so it better not be. Plug in announcements. Sheesh. Can you do it? Damn. I'll throw it in the announcements chat. Sure. You can do the pings. Sheesh. Alright. I probably should have helped Khaz this week with my... I don't know. I was busy. I had my own shit going on. Maybe I'll help Khaz for finals, but I don't actually have any idea what's going on in any of these matchups. Except I think we did mock for... I did ADV this mock like in the regular season. I don't think anything has changed with these teams. I think Khaz is the higher seed and picked the matchup, if I had to guess. Because I think the last time I remember when I played this matchup with Khaz, I thought it was very much in his. They played Oras. Let's fucking go. What's up, Lexi? Oh, did they really play Oras? I can remember. I thought they played this matchup. Okay, I might be trolling then. There must have been another team comp similar to this that Khaz played. Yeah, we played Oras. Okay, you must have played something else that was very, very similar to this, because I don't remember. Also, Foxo is higher seed. Okay, 2 and 3. Goat. Okay. Oh, I remember what happened. I mocked Pythons for Tago. That's what happened. Yeah, I mocked Pythons for Tago. That's why I recognize this team. I was gonna say, I'm like, I mocked against this team. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm mocked against Pythons for this. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So Tago has picked ADV, and let's think why. Why would we pick ADV here? What do we like about this matchup? I want to get we can talk. This game will go for a while. You guys can do what you guys. You can play what you want. I don't mind. I can even pause the game live if I want to, if I feel like I need to say anything. Why would Tago choose to play ADV first? I don't know the other matchups, so I'm just assuming, like, if this is the best one, why is this the best one? I think generally this is a decent... Oh my god, it's Pythons. What's up? I think generally you have a decent matchup here into Zapdos between like Regirock. Espeon can pressure decently offensively. You obviously have Celebi. Your Gyarados counterplay is like a little odd. Like Regirock can like kind of hold it back. Oh, hold on. I scrolled. I'm on like the actual Khlazic doc instead of the other ones. I feel like that holds it back. I feel like Gyarados can be a little bit of a problem for this team generally, but otherwise I think that like you have like good counterplay into Blissey between like I get like you can trap it with Doug Trio, obviously like it can counter and stuff, but there's a lot of things you can do there. And Dragonite generally is really good against this team once like Armaldo is chipped and Zapdos is weakened. So I can kind of see why I can see why you would pick this matchup. I don't know what the other ones are. I guess I can like bring them up on my other screen, but Nick has to be taught because Tago eliminated you from ADV rival. No, that's tough. Dude, I got smoked in all of the ADV tours this year. I just did not have. I had some decent drafts. I just haven't had a good year generally in ADV. We'll see what next year brings. We'll probably... I didn't play the last ADV tour of the year, but... At least Emerald Open. Emerald Open comes at a good time for me this year because I don't have like anything really going on during Emerald Open when I usually do. I was at Vancouver Regionals last year. Yeah, I was at Vancouver Regionals last year during like first week of pools and like had to play there at least for one of the games, which is an epic game against D-Ray, which never saw the channel unfortunately. But that's what happens when you don't play WoW. All right, where's Khaz? Let's play. I know he's like waiting for me to waft about the matchup. I got no Pokemon until EO. It's gonna be great. True. I wish I don't like wish I did to a certain degree. Like having breaks is obviously like super nice. You know, we have a Wi-Fi league starting up soon. There will be a video like introducing that next week. So I still have a good amount of stuff, and I'm 5-1 in seasonal right now. So like I'm playing a lot right now. And Champions is coming out soon, which will be exciting. So I've got a lot going on. And like and then the regional championships for Magic is coming up in like a month and like a couple weeks. So it's gonna be a busy couple of months, unfortunately. That's the only part about doing Wi-Fi draft, like a YouTube draft league, that kind of sucks, is you don't really get a lot of break opportunities necessarily. Let's go. We got the replay up. Or the game up. 10 years in a draft league, this shit, I need to break these days. True. That's how I feel. I mean, to be honest, I've been playing for like 10 years, but like I also took like maybe 2 to 3 years off draft league, honest. Like when Sword and Shield like came out, I had like a pretty extended break, so I haven't felt too bad about it. But there was a point like in what was it? There was a point like a couple months ago, like LTM time, I could have used a break, but here's what it is. All right, so we see Turmo and Leech Seed as Khaz drops a big Surf here. Interesting set, because I figured, I mean, Regirock does hold back the DD set well, right? And like Surf will help at least put some offensive pressure there. That's kind of the big problem for Khaz, I think, is going to be in this matchup, is breaking Regirock is a little bit of a problem. And all the Pokemon that do have like very well-defined counterplay on Tago's team. Sage Mode AD, welcome to Cleveteer. Let's go. Big Dono. Or Big Dono. Big, what's it called? Sky pings me immediately. Stage because my bank out is low? That's crazy. Let's go back. Sorry, Sky stun locked me. Okay, so yeah, Armaldo comes out. Cinerath with the Clefairy as well. Those are my goats right there. All right, big knockoff, game changing, ruin the game. Take away the leftovers. That's huge from Khaz, by the way. Like, just in terms of like how this game's gonna play out, removing the leftovers from that Pokemon is massive. In terms of like where this game will go from here. So it looks like we have some sort of subset. It could be sub Belly Drum. Rock Slide Elise is going to put some pressure on the Dragonite's HP. And now Lunatone could just come out. And this Ice Beam will surely pressure the Dragonite. It has to be Ice Beam, right? Like, there's no way. It's not in this spot, especially if you're going into it here. Yeah, shoutouts to Sage and Cinevrath here for the members. Really, really appreciate that. Helps the channel go out. We're almost at like the first payout on this channel, which, you know, I spent a lot of money into helping, you know, making the content that I do. So definitely appreciate all the support that comes out. So we see Ice Beam come out. Obviously that's, you know, Lunatone does a good job of like keeping Dragonite in check because of the Ice Beam. And now Espeon is able to Calm Mind. Now this can obviously pass, but there's nothing really to pass into that's super relevant against Armaldo or can make progress against Armaldo here. Maybe Kingdra can be an interesting pass target, but yeah, in comes Kingdra. It's gonna take 40 though, right? That's not a lot. That's still decent damage. Good progress for Khaz. Yeah, I really like the knockoff on the Regirock. Uh-oh, this is getting danger. I mean, we still have Blissey, right? Like, Blissey just stops this from being a problem. Are we like Lum? What is going on here? Yeah, we just don't kill. And Khaz just gets to heal this off later, I assume, against on a sack. So I think this is really good progress for Khaz, especially in a matchup that Tago would think is his best here. Because as I said, that knockoff on Regirock is super, super important in terms of like making it so like that Pokemon can actually get chipped down. Your Surf Gyarados as well, which is going to make that like a lot easier to do. So a lot of things going Khaz's way here early on in this battle. Chat, are we gonna get? Dude, I kind of want my autumn seasonal matchup to come out on stream. That'd be fire to talk about in between games. It probably won't though. All right, we see Dragonite come out here. Dragonite at least will pressure the kill here. Yeah, it'll pressure the kill. Lunatone just comes in, double edge, does a little bit. Usum 3? No, I don't. Now that Khaz isn't here to get mad, I don't like Usum. It's not for me. Not that like it's I don't know. It's just not a format I generally enjoy. I'm not a big Z move. It's not a format I prefer to play. I just don't have the time. It is what it is right now. Like we have like new Wi-Fi draft league to end the gen, and there's a lot of stuff to get done going into champions. Everyone knows ADV is the best format. That's so true. Ian hates Usum? True. I do hate Usum. For no reason. I'd say I don't like Z moves. Alright, so we BP. Sorry, we're getting sunlocked by chat here. So we BP into, what's it called? Into Dugtrio. And I guess the spit up boost kind of helps here. You don't get 2 KO'd. So we're Toxic Protecting on the Blissey. Are we... This is one of the more creative ways I've seen Dugtrio try to stall out Blissey and ADV. I mean, this is the way that plays around counter, or this is like, yeah, it plays around counter on the Dugtrio side for the most part. Is kind of like why you would do this. It's just very funny that like the spit off like is like maybe kind of coming into play, and yeah, you'll see here it'll just get picked up. As the Ice Beam will come out, and now Blissey dies to Toxic Protect with the with the +1 spit off. That is, yeah, hey, that'll work. Do what you have to do. That's a big piece from Khaz removed here though at this point of the battle. And it looks like Tago's going to take the opportunity to Toxic into the Lumberry though, so Khaz using his item slot there. It's a pretty decent effect, I guess. Like, you trade the Dugtrio now can't trap like the Hariyama, and like you definitely still need Hariyama to like pressure Regirock. So that's really good there. Uh-oh, that's not good. Big Toxic miss on the Dragonite. Especially for DD Dragonite is going to be really annoying. And now Lunatone comes back on an Espeon. A situation where Espeon can try to get some more Baton Pass shenanigans going. Armaldo can come back in and it's gonna live these pretty comfortably, right? And be able to break the sub, and now you can just go back to Regirock. And this is where the leftovers being knocked off is going to really, really help. All this chip is going to be super, super nice. That's a good double by Tato to get his Espeon back in. Espeon is looking a little inevitable here. I don't like Khaz's last is probably Zapdos if I had to guess. And like we are now sacking our Armaldo here, which is probably fine. We just go back into Lunatone on the Psychic. I feel like we're waffling a little bit here. And now we're just going to Calm Mind ourselves. Okay, so Khaz, I think, sees his opportunity to make this a Calm Mind war. Except he's going to Calm Mind into Zapdos here. So at least this should be able to roar it out. Nice. Okay, this is really good now for Khaz. HP Ice comes out. Doesn't deal half. Which is not great because it basically is a 4-hit KO now on the Celebi. But we're kind of in a position where I think Khaz kind of gets Calm Mind spammed a little bit out of this game. Good hidden power coming out here to deal a lot of damage to the Celebi. And now Zapdos can come back out. I do see the recover though. And then the roar comes out into Espeon. I think where this game is going from here though is like the Calm Mind pressure from Espeon and Celebi is going to be maybe too much. Pressure stalling Leech. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening here as well. How many leeches do we have? Not a lot, right? Like if you can pressure stall those leeches, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And now you have Celebi behind a sub, but now like that's another couple of leeches gone there. So that's what he's only ever leeched the Zapdos, which means he's probably got like 2 more that left he can click. Now Khaz just going to use this to roar out Espeon again. Are we finally going to see the Armaldo sack here? Yeah, Armaldo gets sacked. So goodbye, Armaldo. Zapdos can't come back in. I'm pretty sure this just dies though, right? Yeah, we're in trouble here. I kind of don't know why we didn't go Lunatone first. Bad Aurora roll so far for Khaz. Yeah, that's true as well. I think that's the main thing that's kind of gotten him here. Now he's into this CM war. But his opponent has a Leech Seed up, which is going to make this a little bit more difficult. I guess this just comes down to crit, right? Like there's not much to do here. I guess you can go Gyarados and change it up if you're like a hidden power. Oh, I guess you get crit. I guess that'll help. I guess that'll make that one a little bit easier. Okay, so this is definitely not a good matchup for Khaz by any means. I think is kind of the logical conclusion we can take from that. Why is... dude. I should have done this on my own dock. No, that's not even close to what I want. Hold on. Sorry, chat. This is a scuff stream. Scuff streamer moment. To get the matchup on screen, because I didn't prepare my own dock in advance for this. Sure, this will have to do, I guess. We'll see what's coming here. So Khaz picks this matchup next. Yeah, GG, ADV. Yeah, CM spam is really, really good. A real YouTubeist. Yeah, it can never be scuffed. True, yeah. Never would I put a stream together where I didn't prepare in advance. Why would that ever happen? So Usum, my least favorite generation, unfortunately. Why would so let's see. Let's think about why Khaz would pick this matchup. We have Coco on the opposing side. We do have the Nidoqueen, which is generally a pretty good answer to Coco. It is one of the Z users on this team. I think that Khaz's probably perspective here is that this seems like a pretty decent Mega Diancie matchup, considering the fact that I think that Superior is a little bit not great in this matchup. And that's maybe Khaz's, like, where Khaz is thinking of going with this matchup. Yeah, and you also have, like, good answers to Tapu Koko. Like, Landorus also kind of... Like, Celesteela is really, really good in this matchup for everything that's not the Tapu Koko. And for the Tapu Koko, you do have the Nidoqueen. So, finally a real format. Yeah, here comes OG Albina saying stupid comments in the chat. Fucking number 2 fan behavior. So, Diancie comes out, goes for the Protect. I think Khaz forgot the mechanics in this generation. We do got the God Beware, though. It's going to take a hell of a lot of damage here, though. Switching into the Metagross. Thank God I'm not a number 1. Yeah. Dude, Sage in the mud right now. Number 1 fan behavior. Beware, yeah, so like that's a good Psychic here. We're able to now go Finny, which like will live this Psychic, take this Psychic very, very well. Big knockup comes up, removes an Assault Vest. And Khaz has lost a lot of HP here though on his team. Is kind of a problem that we see right now. Meteor Mash comes out. We are going to tank that. A little bit of Rocky Helmet. So that's kind of Khaz's perspective here, at least in this battle. What he was trying to go for here was just going for the trying to get some Rocky Helmet chip on this Metagross. Because this Metagross is pretty decent in this matchup. Now Khaz is going to go into the Beware, but out comes the God Garbodor. And now Khaz is going to use that. This is a pretty good free turn into Diancie. As you kind of expect a Spike to come up. I guess you wouldn't expect them to Spike literally in the face of a Diancie, right? And Diancie, considering its typing, is going to eat that Gunk Shot and be able to 2KO this Garbodor. So really, really good use of the Diancie here. Uh-oh, that's tough. No, the poison is crazy work. Smart Boomblast to get there, but now we lose our Diancie. And Diancie was going to be at least good at checking both the Kommo-o and the Landorus. Assuming the Landorus would be a Life Orb in this spot. So that poison's a little annoying. A little surprising to see the Spike come out, honestly, from the Garbodor. That was the first thing I thought, too. But, like, it's not like Diancie is really threatened by you in terms of, like, the moves that you can click in this battle. So, like, I am a little bit surprised by that, actually. So, like, while Khaz does lose his Mega to what's it called? To the poison, we still got really good value out of that turn, of those turn sequences, I think, to get a Spike and Stealth Rock here, as that's going to make dealing with Pokemon like the Superior and the Tapu Koko just that much easier, because Superior is going to come in here to switch into what I assume is a Moonblast, and it's not going to take that very well. The problem here, though, is that it's going to get it's going to get boosted up on the Moonblast drop, but this thing can only switch in one more time. And if you're Khaz, like, you can aggressively go a Selgor here, I think. Yeah, I like aggressively going a Selgor here. There's not really much that Toggle can click here that'll really punish you from doing this. And it's not like this Pokemon needs to stay for, like, a particular reason. Light Screen is a little bit annoying, but you're obviously going to live the next hit. And that's, like, in some instances, like, kind of a good thing for you. You waste, like, a screen here and here doing this. Kommo is going to come out, though, so he preserves Superior for a sack. As Kommo is going to take, wow, nice little HP Ice, 14%. What a clip. The HP Ice heard around the world for literally no damage. So now, so Serp is dead, Kommo is low. I think a sack here of the Beware seems to make a lot of sense. We get Sub-Salic come out from the Kommo-o. As you see, Rocky Helmet is going to chip this thing down, so this thing is very low at this point. I assume Khaz is just going to go back into the Selgor. The Hazard's definitely, yeah, it would have just done more. It looks like Khaz is a little bit of a speed tier moment, I think. I don't know. I guess we have the speed tiers here. Como versus a Selgor. So maybe this is Khaz aggro creeping. What is... I feel like that shouldn't have outsped. I feel like we probably should have been faster, chat. But I don't know. I can't know the math off the top of my head. So we see Endeavor come out here on the Tapu Fini. So we break the... what's it called? We break the substitute. And I assume we're going into our Celesteela here. Or we're just going to go Nidoqueen. And this Nidoqueen is going to Sucker Punch. That's good. Okay. So I guess like the only thing is like we lost our Selgor. But I guess I don't know what a Selgor is really doing here. This is still actually a really weird sequence for Tago, I think. And that I don't know what you go into here. You go Landorus, but like... Yeah, can't do Selly there with Endeavor. Oh, 100%, yeah. Like, if you go Landorus, like, I mean, you U-turn on... I guess you have to play, like, a U-turn game, basically, here. We don't know Khaz's item yet. He could... I guess what, like, really potentially breaks this open... No, I mean, if it's Shuka, maybe it's Shuka? I don't know. It would be interesting to know what the item would be here. Because Shuka Berry maybe gives you a chance to stay in on Landorus and like go for an Ice Beam kill. But... All right, this is a long, long time to sit here and wait for this turn. I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this ends. I think you have to go Landorus here. I don't know what you're getting, but going on the others, because I assume Metagross is going to get outsped here by the Nidoqueen. And, like, obviously Tapu Koko, like, Nidoqueen is for Tapu Koko. So, like, you have to go Landorus, but, like, what do you, like, just have to U-turn? If Khaz is Shuka, does he even play for the Shuka here? Like, does he still just go Selly anyway and, like, save that for, like, later? Because if Tago U-turns here into Tapu Koko on Selly, what does that give us? I mean, if I'm Tago, I think I have to U-turn. I have to come into this in U-turn. Gravity. Okay, so Khaz is Shuka Berry then. And is played for that. So there we go. So this should be win for Khaz now. Because Serperior is going to die. Metagross should get outsped here, I would imagine. Given that Nidoqueen is naturally faster and this was AV Metagross, like I would expect AV Metagross to be slower than Shuka Berry Nidoqueen. And I assume the chip from like a Bullet Punch won't actually matter in this battle. So Khaz should be pulling out this victory, I think, here. I like the gravity idea, actually. Like, the gravity is good here. Was like a pretty good play. Because if like your opponent just goes Selly, then like you just like smoke them. But the Shuka Berry here, very, very clutch to have access to. And now you just win the game. So it comes down to Rise. I guess like technically not. Like I guess there's still... I guess if you're Khaz, like... Okay, you are fast. So I'm going to say, if you're Khaz, like, do you maybe play around fast Self-S Metagross? There's probably some calcs that you can do from earlier in the battle that, like, tell you, like, basically the exact EV spread. So I think that makes sense to, like, not switch out, not overthink that. Because that's, like, you're pretty much always going to be faster. And then Guardian Alola comes out, boom, to 70%. Crazy work, by the way. And then Earth Power is going to kill, and then the Superior is going to die. And we are off to Oras, everyone's favorite Draft League format, the best Draft League format of all time. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. This is a classic. I don't want to say classic matchup, actually. Like, these are two megas that I don't think we see. We see, obviously, a decent amount, and this is classic. So, like, people are going to sometimes get a little bit more creative. But we have a really interesting team on Khaz's side. I really like Khaz's team. I really like Diggersby. I think that's a fun Pokemon. Klefki's Spike stack is really, really good with Zapdos and Greninja. Uxie's just a really good defensive piece. On Togo's side, this is a team that takes advantage of a Landorus Eye, a Pokemon that's been recently unbanned over the last little bit in Oras. So we'll see about that. Best format didn't know Khaz at GSC. Yeah, no GSC today. And then we got stuff like Lottie, and then Mega T-Tar is really, really interesting. So, and then Clefable is on this matchup, but didn't come, which is interesting, but I think maybe makes sense here. I can see that. So chat, if you haven't, for the final game of Classic semifinals, the other semifinal we didn't get to stream because it was Canadian Thanksgiving and I was out of the house. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see how many more likes we can get before the end of the stream. Big T-Wave block by Zapdos coming in on Quillfish. Now we're just going to go for the Volt Switch. Get a little bit of chip on the Tyranitar, and we're able to get our Scrafty, and Scrafty is going to be able to put in a decent amount of work, I think, this battle, because you can just click knockoff here for free and just start netting as many items as you can. Focus Sash off the Quillfish. I guess not really the perfect item to get. I don't know. Focus Sash Quillfish is an item choice I guess you can make on your sand team, but I guess like if you're using it purely as a lead, then it is what it is. Look, hey, Chip is Chip. If only Jason won today. Yeah, I mean, this is the game they had to win. They really needed to win this. A big natural gift coming out from the Zapdos on the Stealth Rock. So really good prep by Khaz on that part to punish kind of a really obvious Stealth Rock turn in the builder and have access to natural gift there. Really, really nice. As the Dragon Tail comes out, Rocky Helmet is going to throw this on the Dragon Tail into Uxie, and that is a dead Mega Tyranitar. So good sequencing early from Khaz here. And now Quillfish is going to come out on the Uxie. A little bit interesting. I assume just trying to get up as many hazards as you can. And Zapdos can use Quillfish as a free defog turn every time. Now we are going to trade it for the Boom, but I don't think you super need Zapdos a lot the rest of this battle. You'd probably want it for Scizor and Breloom if you could. But guaranteeing that there will be no hazards the rest of the game will be really nice for Mega Venusaur. It'll make it Greninja, give you like more opportunities to get aggressive with switching into Greninja in the back, which is always crucial. U-turn comes out, a little bit of Life Orb rocking out, but basically 2 for 1 for Zap and know-how. Yeah, really good turn that, I think. And now you get your own Stealth Rocks up, and that's going to put pressure on the team. And now it's time for Mega Venusaur to kind of shine here in this battle. Mega Venusaur does a good job of walling a good amount of the rest of this team. Now Landorus is obviously still going to have access to Psychic, so Uxie is still going to be required to manage that a little bit. But you know, at this point, like, you're going to be able to use the Stealth Rocks and the Rocky Helmet damage to keep this thing low. A little bit of Life Orb. So like this Pokemon is now not going to be able to come in that often at all the rest of this battle. And maybe you have random priority on Scrafty, which is helpful here. So Landorus, one of the bigger problems in this matchup, one of the best new Pokemon in Oras, now in trouble health-wise at least. Definitely not in a position to U-turn anymore. We got Dark Lord Marshy dropping Brother Dog Classic in the chat. Always a sign of a good Draft League game when a Brother Dog Classic is coming. So Scizor comes out here. I assume we just go Scrafty here just to get the Intimidate off. We do have Rocky Helmet as well. And I assume have some way to pressure this thing. As Scrafty will come out here. And Scrafty is not super relevant now in this battle now that Tyranitar's down. You do get a pretty good knockoff here, actually, all things considered. Aerial Ace is going to come out, do a little bit of chip. Rocky Helmet and the Life Orb as well. And that knockoff is going to put that super low. And now this next Aerial Ace should still kill. I don't know. I can't imagine it wouldn't. But now this Scizor is in a position where it's basically, if it has Roost, it's forced to use it. Or Tago is forced to preserve it. Because you don't, I mean, if you take another hit from Rocky Helmet, you basically have to sack this. And he is going to preserve it. So let's see. Khaz probably goes for another knock, or just goes for the Fire Punch to guarantee as much damage as possible. Knock would have been nice to obviously knock the leftovers off of the Jolteon, predicting the switch. Now Volt Switch is going to come out onto the Venusaur. Maybe Scizor. Maybe you go Scizor here to try to get some damage back. But you're going to go Landorus here. And now given the stealth, the Venu's looking good. And now given the Stealth Rock damage, it looks like if we're Khaz, this thing can only come in one more time after this. Now Earth Power is going to come out, just smoke the Klefki. Klefki not super required here the rest of this battle, and now that's a free turn for Gran to come in. And Gran clicks really well into the rest of this team. Scizor comes out. This dies to basically anything. Just goes for the Surf. And now this Landorus can only come back in one more time. Jolteon comes back out here. Just sack off the Scrafty to the Volt Switch. Ooh, doesn't get sacked on the Volt Switch, actually. Breloom comes out here, which I think is interesting. I don't think this matters. Is this a real live stream? Come on, what do you mean, Jay Bear? This is, of course, a real live stream. We're watching the best Draft League gameplay of all time. So we got Life Orb. Breloom comes out here. There's no switch into the Sludge Bomb, though, from Mega Venusaur is the problem. So I think we just sack the Breloom. And we are even faster, so no even free chip. Yeah, no, this is pre-recorded. This happened like 5 hours ago. And now if you're Tago... this is actually interesting. I mean, you go... I guess this is kind of a 50-50. Actually, I don't think it is a 50-50, right? Because, like, the Greninja should be able to live Earth Power here. Oh, it doesn't even live Earth Power. Wow. Maybe I'm just, like, underestimating the what is it? The HP that thing has. So there we go. Tago is through to the finals of Hoenn Khlazic. Yeah, I mean, I like Khaz going for the Earth Power switch there. I think that's a pretty good switch to try and make in that spot. Predicting the Psychic to come out. Though I think if I'm Tago, I kind of like going for the Earth Power because like Khaz's only line to win there is bringing Gren in. Yeah, it's bringing the Greninja in, right? Because like you need the Venusaur for the Jolteon. So that is the end of the semifinals then of Hoenn Khlazic. So there we go. Finals will be at some point next week. I don't know when, of course, because the coaches will obviously have to schedule at some point over the next couple of days. But alas, there you go. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was super fun. I always like doing these Khlazic streams. There'll be a lot more streams coming up the next little bit. The next Wi-Fi League is actually a league I am hosting. So I will be doing a draft stream and weekly streams of all the battles every week. So you'll see a lot more of me on stream over the next couple of weeks. As I said, it's going to be a very busy couple of months with a lot going on, draft league, Magic-wise, and personal-wise. So it's going to be busy, but we're going to bring you guys a bunch of content all the way through till the end of the year and into Pokemon Champions. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe because you won't want to miss that. We got a lot of good content coming up. So yeah, that's the end of this. We'll see where we're at. Yeah, we'll see when the stream is next week. As I said, the main thing for next week to look out for is I have a video introducing the new Draft League format that we are going to be, or new Draft League that I'm going to be hosting. Spoiler, Khaz is playing in that Wi-Fi Draft League, so that is super exciting. We got a lot of other cool coaches, a lot of them that you've seen before, some of them that you haven't seen before, and will definitely want to be subscribed to because it'll be a lot of good gameplay. So that's all for today. We'll see everyone. We'll see everyone next week, and have a good night.